grammar checking tools provide some new opportunities for students to get help with their writing, particularly during the editing phases. But grammar checking tools are not perfect. Let's listen to some of the things that current grammar checking tools can do, as well as what they can't.
Grammar checking tools have been around for a number of years, just like spell checkers. So what I'd like to do over the next few minutes is really talk about what grammar checkers can do, and we'll look at built-in grammar checkers in word processing applications, and I'll show you examples of Google Docs, Microsoft Word, and also Grammarly. I will also talk a little bit about some more advanced grammar checkers or automated writing evaluation and feedback that these kind of tools provide. As Professor Chappell indicated, these grammar checkers are oftentimes used in the editing stages of writing. So what I have here on the screen and what you have on your transcript, which you should download so you can follow along, is a student text that was written by a student with an IBT TOEFL score of about 80, maybe 85, and he was taking an ESL writing class at a major US university. And this is what that person was able to write. So take a look at it, read it, and think about what kind of feedback you might give as a teacher. What I'm demonstrating here is a series of word processing applications that are frequently used. And what I did is I copied and pasted the text into Google Docs, which is what you see here. I also copied it into Microsoft Word, and then I copied it into Grammarly, just to show you what kind of feedback these tools provide in terms of grammar. Now, the first one, Google Docs, as you can see, is fairly simple in that it doesn't really provide any grammar feedback. Even when you click on spelling, it will tell you that all the words are spelled correctly, but there's no feedback on grammar. When I paste the exact same text into Microsoft Word, as you can see here on the screen, you can see that several highlights are made, underlined in blue and some in red. As you can see, homeworks, which is a plural verb, which should not be in plural. It has an S on it. It should just be homework. But it also underlines several other items here. Actually is underlined a couple times. And, in this case, the grammar checker identifies redundancy. Some of these words are not necessarily needed in writing. So rather than saying, actually, I attended, why not just say, I attended? Or actually, these kinds of skills, we could just say, these kinds of skills. Or as a result, so there's some feedback here. Microsoft also picked up on, in the third paragraph, when I begun the study in the US, really should be when I began the study in the US. So it underlines errors and does a fairly good job at underlining at least some of these errors. This third example is of pasting the exact same text again into the word processing interface for Grammarly, a tool that you looked at earlier and a tool that you will be looking at again as part of this lecture this week. What you can see here is Grammarly also identifies several possible mistakes when I type this into the application here. It actually provides suggestions for how to remedy the mistakes, how to fix the mistakes. So the first example here is I find that there was difficulty for me to fit into. They indicate that it should be a difficulty or the difficulty. It also identifies enumeration here where in the second paragraph it says, meanwhile, the teachers taught us some skills about time management, weekly plan, and monthly plan. So it indicates that after that second plan here, it should be a comma. It does identify that homeworks is a mistake. It should be homework. And it also gives you the correct version of the word begin, which should be began at the beginning of the third paragraph here. Now, something to point out here, this Grammarly version that I'm using is the free one. So it only checks some of the more basic mistakes here. It does indicate that it found 5 advanced issues. However, in order to see the advanced issues, we have to upgrade to a paid-for version. And for the purpose of this course, I don't feel this is necessary. So have a look at this. You will be able to review Grammarly, Google Docs, or whichever word processing application you're using as part of this week, and we'll continue with that